What's up, everybody? Circus here, coming at you with this week's free-to-play account update. I like to do these every Saturday just to show you guys where I'm at with the account that I'm working on right now. So if you're new to the series, what I do each month is I open up a fresh account and then I farm out a top deck, a popular deck, free to play. And then I keep you guys updated about it every Saturday. So a couple things before we get started. I did say free to play, so I define free to play as anything that you don't spend money on. So if you think or you feel that free to play is like 10,000 gems or less, once through a main box, twice through a mini, that's not the definition I'm using here. We just use anything that you're not spending money on is free to play. And then the other thing is, yes, I am building some of the most expensive decks in the game. And the reason I'm doing that is not to make anybody feel bad or anything like that. I'm just showing that if I can do this in a month, doing one of these top decks, these expensive decks, you can build any deck you want. Because one of the biggest things I see in our Twitch chat, in our Discord, in our YouTube comments is, I'm free to play, so I can't do this. I'm free to play, I can't play that deck. And the only difference right now to me between free to play and someone that pays to play the game, because I do both, is you have better access to Book of Moon. Now, if you're a free-to-play account and you've had one for a while, you could have 1 to 3 Book of Moons right now. If you're pay to win, you could have 3. Other than that, there's nothing in the game that you can't really go after. People might say structure decks, but if you really wanted to, you could use dream tickets. People say, don't do that. But if you're honestly just free to play, you could do it, because you're not going to spend money even on the structure deck. So to me, the difference between free to play and pay to win is Book of Moon, and that's about it. And honestly, it's a great card, but you can still play the game without it. I honestly believe you can play the game without Book of Moon. I'm going to throw that out there. I know that's a hot take. I know a lot of people are going to be upset. Circus, it's impossible. No, you can do it. You can play without Book of Moon. You can. All right, let's get into it. So if you are new to this series, I'll show you what I've been up to. And I know you guys have been following along each week. I've seen this about 100 times, but you know how it goes. I'm going to get everybody up to speed. So back in mid-March, I started this account here, and I always personally like to start my accounts with Amazons because you can pretty much get the whole deck. Someone got really mad because I said you could get the whole deck with tickets. You do have to go into a box and buy a few cards for a few thousand gems. And then you have a great deck it's great for grinding. It's great for PvP, doing the events. It's just great. It's a deck you can get right away. Some people have given me suggestions for other decks, and I look into them, and there's nothing that you can just get just like as soon as you turn the game on, you spend tickets and the gems that they give you to start with, and you have a great deck. I'm not saying other decks aren't great. It's just you have to put more time into it. Like if you just want to start the game and start playing, this is great. That's why I use it. Because it's just like, bam, let's go. So it did take me a little while to grind out these 3 Canadias, which work great in that deck. But then I used that deck to build my Harpies deck, which is right here. This took me through the month of April. This took me about 5 weeks, I think it was. And you can see I reused the Canadias here. And then I used enemy controller. Now, long term, like if I were to keep this deck, you could replace... you could put 2 Treacherous Trap Hole in here, and you could just take out these enemy controllers, but then the problem is you'd have 5 traps, and you wouldn't want to do that. So then you'd have to replace the Canadias, and I'm like, I'm not going that deep, but you could. You could, put like Forbidden Lance in or Chalice or something like that. And I did get a complete extra deck here, so it all, I built it to its best of its ability. And then in the month of May, as most of you guys know that have been watching this every week, I built Blue Eyes. And I built this pretty much all the way through. I just didn't get a few of the extra deck cards because I was playing this on the ladder, and I don't like Blue Eyes. I know there's a lot of you guys that love it. Good for you. Have fun with it. I just thought it was boring and pretty straightforward. So I just didn't get one more of these. And then I could have gotten Heliopolis, but I'm like, I'm good. This is close enough. Close enough. So I did that. And then let's move over to the other account. So then in the month of June, I opened a new account, and then I started building resonators, and I did this throughout the month of June. And this turned out to be, it's a decent deck. It's not my favorite. I think Harpies has been my favorite because I feel like there's more to it. Like there's more plays, but you can see I got the whole extra deck here. But this is a pretty straightforward deck. There's not a lot of plays. It's really easy to learn how to play the deck. It's still pretty good. I know it's not as popular or maybe not as top tier as it once was, but it's still a good deck. Would I recommend someone going into it now? I would. I don't know. I like Harpies. I'd recommend Harpies, but they're an older deck now, so I'm not really going to recommend any deck. I'm just showing you what I've built. I'm just showing you it's possible to build these decks. This is not me saying you should play these decks for certain. So, and then the deck I'm working on now, of course, I'm taking the long way to get there. I am working on Gimmick Puppets. Okay, so I know this isn't like a top deck, but it is a hot deck right now. And is this the right one, or is this my auto duel deck? No, this is my Gimmick Puppet deck. So I've gotten a lot of it this past week. I got through the main box again for my second run through. So I'm going to be starting my third one, and hopefully I'll have this done by next week. I just need one more giant grinder here, and then I need a Malevolent Sin. I see a lot of people doing that. I think that last card's kind of optional. Like it's kind of like a flex spot. So I just need 2 more Bisque, and then I need 1 more Terror, baby. And then the deck's done. So I just got to get through the main box one more time. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then usually I like to talk about like one thing for new players during this series. And this week I was going to talk to people about, what was it? If you're playing free to play, you got to be careful with your resources, right? You don't want to just waste resources or spend them freely, because if you do that, you're going to run out of gems, you're going to run out of tickets or whatever. And if you take time and think about what you want to build, and don't try to build every deck in the game, and don't try to get every card that comes out in a box, you're going to actually do really well, and you're not going to spend a lot of gems. I've noticed like in a lot of Twitch chats, or, you know, Twitch comments or Discord chats, and the comments in YouTube, people always talking about how expensive the game is. They can't keep up with it. But then I hear people saying they try to have 3 of every staple in the game. And now, I'm not saying these cards aren't good, but if you don't need them for the deck you're building, you might not want to put the resources into them. Now, someday that card could be good and you might need it, but then you might not. Like a good example was Karma Cut, right? Karma Cut, like near the beginning of this year, was the most broken trap in the game. Let's go, Karma Cut! But nowadays, it doesn't see a lot of play. The deck I built, the Blue Eyes deck, I did put a couple in there because this particular deck does very well with discarding, because when you discard this particular card here to the graveyard, you're going to gain some card advantage, you're going to be able to summon monsters, all this great stuff. It's a great strategy. There's synergy there. But Karma Cut doesn't fit into every deck, because not every deck does well with discarding. So while, yeah, it's a great card and you could call it a staple, if you don't have a deck that needs it, you're kind of wasting your gems when you could like save those gems for a deck that and get cards for that deck that you're building that you need, that you're going to use, you know. And I think this is more of a problem for like free to play players, because if you're not using it and you've spent gems on it, you're kind of wasting it. Now, if you're a whale and you're spending real money on the game, you don't care. You don't care. You're just spending money on everything, getting all the cards and just letting them lay around, right? But when you're playing free to play, I think you got to be more targeted, you know. That's why I like in this other account where I'm building Gimmick Puppets, I have no Karma Cuts. I have no Fiendish Chains. I have no Floodgates. I have no whatever, you know. Unless I need it directly for building this account or these decks, I don't have it. And I save a lot of gems that way. The only exception I will say it's okay to make that on is Book of Moon. Let's go! When that comes out in the main box, save those gems, because I will take Book of Moon over Karma Cuts and all that stuff any day of the week, because this is one of the most broken cards, and I mean that in a good way, that they've ever released in the game. I would definitely hang on to that, because that's going to be good in any meta. You know, Fiendish Chain was awesome, but you never see it anymore. I think you're going to see Book of Moon for a long time to come. So I would, you know, if anything, I would just save gems and just wait for that to come out one of these days, because it will. And when it does, that one I would say that's a staple for any account. You know, any account could handle that one. So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people like having a rounded out account, and if you want to, that's fine. That's fine. Go for it. I'm not saying don't. Well, I guess I am saying don't, but just realize that you might run out of gems sooner. And if you're only going to use one account, you're going to run out of gems chasing all those staples, right? So just keep that in mind. Do what you want to do. If you want to go chase all the staples, you're just going to use up a lot of resources doing that. And then you got to kind of just slowly collect resources month to month. where if you're doing what I was talking about, just kind of like targeting what cards you need, you're going to run out of resources slower, and then maybe get a few more completed decks. And to me, that's the important thing, is having a completed deck to play, because you can have all the staples you want, but if you ain't got a deck, what are you going to do, right? Anyways, let's end this thing with a pack opening like we always do. We got to get Da Baby. We need to get Giant Grinder, and then I need 2 Bisque. We're going to get it all here right now. Let's go. Someone said they wanted me to do them one at a time. They're like, I'm free to play. Go one at a time. I'm like, I'm so sick of opening packs right now. All right. Nope. I'm not sick of opening packs, I should say. I'm sick of opening them one at a time. I'm just like, when I grind now, it's just skip. 500 gems, skip. 500 gems, skip. I receive no joy from opening these one at a time, because I've just been so disappointed. There was the Exabeetle, I know. I'm never going to use it, so I don't care. Especially on this account. See, that's a good example. Hey, that's a great card if you're an automat player, but for me, oh, there's another one. It's completely useless. I'm never going to use that card. You know. Okay. And this is just a bum. Oh, we got some eyes. We got some eyes, and it's a puppet ritual. I guess it's in the archetype, right? Oh, come on. All right, we got 200 gems left. Ouch. Not even a super rare. All right, 4 packs. That's all right. All right, here we go. 1 more, or 2. Let's go. Come on, 2 more after this. Vamp, vamp. Again, great card back in the day. Never going to use it. There's the eyes. This is just a rare again. Watch. Oh, Neospatian Grand Mole. Another one where people are like, oh, I got to get this. It's so broken. I'm never going to use it. I'm never going to use it. I mean, I might as a meme or whatever, but. And what is this? Assault on GHQ. All right. So that's what's been going on here. I hope to have this done by next week. I hope to do this episode next week and show you that I finished Gimmick Puppets, because I think this is going to be one of the next week will be the last update I do for this series. It's been a great series. It's just not as popular as it once was. I know the game's kind of boring right now. There's not a lot of exciting stuff to go on. So like, there's not as many people watching our content, you know, in between like new boxes and leaks and things like that. So there's just kind of like things slow down a little bit. But this series has been slowing down like beyond that. So it's been a lot of fun, and I have been enjoyed doing this. But if you know people aren't watching it, we got to find something that people do want to watch. So yeah. I'm kind of sad now. No, I'm not sad. It's been a lot of fun. I just got to think of a new free-to-play thing to do on Saturdays. So let me know what you think I should do on Saturdays. We'll keep it free-to-play, but what should it be? Give me some ideas, and maybe one of them will work. So yeah, next week will be the final episode. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I'm going to get out of here, but you should get in the Discord because it's free. The tournaments are free, and the new player help is free. My name is Circus, and I'll see you next time.